Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're delving into the powerful story of one man's incredible courage during a time of just immense division. It's a story whose lessons on unity feel more relevant right now than ever before.
Okay, so our story begins here. We're in the city of Multan, and it's just months before the official partition of India. You can just feel it. The air is thick with tension. This is a city right on the edge of a massive and very violent change.
But in the middle of all this rising turmoil, a group of college students from Dave and Emerson colleges, well, they decide they need to take a stand. So they organize a peaceful march. And get this, they're not marching for division. They're marching to protest the very idea of splitting their country apart.
But their call for unity is just tragically cut short. The procession is suddenly brutally attacked by an armed mob. What was a peaceful demonstration turns into a scene of utter chaos and bloodshed in an instant.
So let's look at this moment, a stand in Multan. This single event on March 5th, 1947, it really becomes a flashpoint for the whole city as all these tensions just erupt. And right in the middle of this chaos is one man who makes a choice that will define his entire legacy.
So, to really get why he did what he did in that moment, we first have to understand the principles that guided his whole life. I mean, what makes a person run towards the danger when literally everyone else is running away?
Let's dive into that. A man of principle. We're going to rewind a bit and look at how Sardar Nanak Singh forged this deep sense of moral integrity, a commitment to his conscience that defined him long before that terrible day in Multan.
You know, his life's journey shows this really clear and consistent pattern. He was born back in 1903 and actually started his career as a police officer. But here's where it gets interesting, his defining moment. He was ordered to fire on peaceful protesters, and he refused. He resigned right there on the spot, choosing his own moral compass over his career. After that, he completely remade his life, becoming a respected advocate in Multan. And this really shows you the core conflict he lived with. Time and time again, he faced this choice: follow institutional orders or stick to his own moral integrity. When he was ordered to open fire on protesters, he refused. Later, as a lawyer, when pretty much everyone else was avoiding politically sensitive cases, he was the one who stepped up to defend prisoners of the Indian National Army. Every single time, he chose what he knew was right, not what was easy or safe.
The ultimate sacrifice. Okay, so now that we have a real sense of his character, we can go back to that day. March 5th, 1947, in Multan.
Sardar Nanak Singh was there. He saw it all happening. He witnessed the massacre unfolding as this mob just descended on these unarmed, totally defenseless students who had just been marching for peace.
In that split second, as chaos is exploding all around him, he had a choice. He could have run, found safety for himself, or he could intervene. And the decision he made would define his legacy forever.
And he didn't even hesitate. He deliberately charged straight into that violent crowd. He used his own body to physically shield the students from the mob's attacks, creating a diversion, creating an opportunity for so many of them to escape the violence.
His bravery, without a doubt, saved lives that day. But in the act of protecting others, he was fatally wounded by the mob. He made the ultimate sacrifice for his belief in unity. And the cost of this public stand was it was immense, and it was so deeply personal. He left behind his wife and 8 young children. Think about that. His act of selfless courage was also an act that would completely change the course of his family's life forever. An unsung hero's legacy. Because while Sardar Nanak Singh's life ended on that tragic day, his story and the way his courage endures, that did not. His family, they took their personal loss and turned it into a public mission. His son, Lord Rami Ranger, has been absolutely essential in sharing his father's story with the world. Through the Shahid Nanak Singh Foundation, they promote the vision of a secular, peaceful India, the very vision he died for, making sure that his sacrifice is never, ever forgotten. His story really is a powerful testament. It represents the countless, often unsung individuals who, during one of history's most turbulent chapters, prioritized human life, who chose our shared humanity over all the forces of division. And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Sardar Nanak Singh's story, it isn't just a piece of history. It's really a living question for all of us today. When we're faced with division in our own time, what does his example of courage and unity actually demand of us?